Good evening. I'd like to call a meeting to order. This is the Wednesday, January 8th, 2020 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. We have a fairly short agenda this evening. Continued business is our first item, and that is the enforcement order, which we've been working with at 172 18th Street. I understand that there's been no progress in that regard as of today, so we're just keeping this on the agenda and moving it along to our next meeting date. And I don't think we need a motion for that. We'll just move it forward. There's no one here for that particular item as far as I know. The second item that we have on our agenda is also an enforcement order from Lowell Meadowbrook LLC, 211 Plain Street. The violation location is also at 211 Plain Street. And this was tree removal that occurred last June, I believe, along the River Meadowbrook. They are working on coming up with a plan for restoration, as far as I understand, and I don't expect anyone will be here tonight. So we'll move that one on to our next agenda in 2 weeks. Moving down our agenda, we have some other business, and this is an interesting item of the Lowell High School at 50 Father Morissette Boulevard. We have a presentation of the planned expansion and renovation of the Lowell High School. Welcome.
Welcome. Good evening.
Could you introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Joseph Drown. I'm from Perkins Eastman Architects. I'm here tonight with several people. Jonathan Hedlund is from our consultants, Niche Engineering, and we are going to go through where we are with the Lowell High School, bring you up to speed, and make you aware of the project in more detail. This, as you can see on the screen right here, is a view of the proposed high school. It's on the corner of Father Morissette and Arcan, and you can see, get the pointer, there we go. This is the new Freshman Academy. It's in the location of where the prior gymnasium was. And this location right over here is the new gymnasium. So that's where the existing medical office building is now. So we'll take you through the phasing in a moment as well, so you have a sense of how we're stepping through time with regard to the project. This is the courtyard for the students is a quad. Currently the school doesn't have any outside space for the students. They do have some gym activities that do take place across the Father Morissette at the little green strip triangle next to the garage. And then just beyond that, you can see the 1980s portion of the high school. We're taking down about a third of the high school, and we're renovating the remainder of the 1980s portion. And then we, of course, have the canal that are connected by 2 bridges. We have 2 new bridges that are connecting both sides of the canal, both sides of the high school across the canal, rather. And then we have what's been referred to as the 1922 building, which is a series of buildings that have been built starting in the 1890s, and then this frontispiece that was added in the mid-1990s.
The oldest part of the high school remaining there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. The old 4-chimney building?
Yeah, it's a complete renovation, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection systems. Everything is new within the building, but the historical structure remains.
Yeah, I love that building.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get this to move. Nope. I'm just going to step up here and put this into... So this is our timeline. We started back in 2016 on the project, and we've been working with the city and MSBA, Massachusetts School Building Authority, going through the feasibility study and schematic design. We've now moved into what's referred to as detailed design, which is identified in that gold bar right there. And we're at the probably 90% of our phase we represent as design development. So it's a good time to come to Conservation Commission. We have enough detail down on the civil side to go into it in far more detail than we did during the earlier studies. We're about to submit our documents to our cost estimators, and we're wrapping up design development in the end of February. Then we'll be moving into construction documents, and that phase will go through January of 2021, and then we'll see about 5 years of construction. This is an oversight plan for the school site. Yeah, you can see the existing gymnasium right here that will be demolished. This is Father Morissette and Arcan, and I think Jonathan's going to take us through more of the site.
Yes. So I'm Jonathan Headland with Niche Engineering, so we'll dive into the stormwater-related aspect of this project. So the reason we're here is because of the canal owned by Enel and the associated floodplain and 100-foot buffer from the floodplain. So you can't actually see it on this slide, but the buffer zone is in this area right here. So the site itself, we're actually greening the western campus. So per the Massachusetts stormwater standards, this is a redevelopment. But we're actually considering this more of a development. We're going to meet the standards. On the western side, we're actually promoting ½ of infiltration through the impervious area of the site. So let's jump into the actual utilities themselves. There we go. We're actually going to just stay on this slide. I know it's a little small to read from there. I don't know if it's advantageous to actually bring up the board as well.
I just have a quick question while he's setting that up. What's gonna happen to the annex building, the old freshman academy? What's gonna come of that building? Do you guys know?
That gets turned over to the school department, and the school department will have other uses for it.
All right, so I mentioned the 100-year floodplain in this for Enel. We just want to note that we're actually not regrading. We're going to replace this area in kind. So just make that of note. So starting with the stormwater system. On the southern side, there's a small pipe and stone system. This is for the access drive itself. This is going to have a water quality inlet beforehand, so it's going to pre-treat before it's infiltrated for this actual access drive. The main system is in the center quad area. This is underneath a turf field. This is going to take the majority of the stormwater runoff from the roof itself and promote infiltration. The overflow from this system is in Arcan Drive, along with this system on the south as well. The smaller system on the northern side has a series of educational rain gardens. This is more conveyance structures for stormwater, but it's going to show how stormwater infiltrates into the ground for the students. The overflow from these rain garden, the educational rain gardens, is into the system underneath the sidewalk. This is another pipe and stone system. This is going to overflow to Father Morset Drive. On the eastern side, we're actually in conversation with Enel right now to discharge the majority of the roof runoff into the canal itself. This is option number one. We're still trying to coordinate with Enel if we can actually make this happen, if it's feasible. Option number two is pretty much maintain the existing drainage pattern. So we've had conversations with the city about actually putting infiltration systems around the building itself, but because of the nature and how old this building is, there could be possible implications of stormwater entering into the basement. So with conversations with the city, we actually went away from promoting infiltration around the basement itself and just hard piping into the actual system, the city system. So in conclusion, we're actually looking to prepare either an NOI or RDA. An NOI will be prepared if we're actually pursuing option number one, that would be putting stormwater into the canal. An RDA we're going to pursue if we actually hard pipe into the city system. So I don't know if you have any questions pertaining stormwater, because I can jump into the other utilities, but that's pretty brief.
Will you be coming here with an RDA at some point? Or?
So we are either going to file a RDA, which is the RDA option if we hard pipe into the city system. We're going to come here most likely for an NOI if we actually have to core through the wall and discharge stormwater into the canal itself. This is what we've talked to the city about, and that's our understanding. That's prone to change, but that's how we've left it at this point.
We did have conversations and some kind of application for the last renovation that put the, not tunnels, but the bridges over the canal. So, you know, that didn't impact the canal particularly, and it sounds like you're staying pretty well away from the canal
That's
as well. But
correct.
you are constructing a third bridge, are you?
I believe.
We are actually building two new bridges. One is on the south side, replaces the one that is currently there in its current location. The one on the north side is further north, and what we're doing is we're removing that one and moving it down in a southerly direction so that it has a better connection to the space inside for circulation. And it also provides a better view of the historic building. The bridge in its current location masks a bit of the 1922 building. So it improves its 1922's visibility as well.
So the rain gardens are along the sides of the canal? I can't quite see there where they're.
Yes, so they're along Father Morset. They're actually not within the buffer area of the canal. So they're outside that jurisdictional area.
And how, is that at grade level?
Yes, they're at grade level, sidewalk level, so they're
How-
pretty much built within the sidewalk area themselves. So they're small depressions within the sidewalk.
How do you protect something like that from students
From
trampling
foot
it?
traffic, and so we're actually in conversation with the landscape architect who's doing the majority of the design. They're coming up with schemes for that.
And I know they have quite a few events along that parkway, Lucy Larkham Parkway, they call it. Will that kind of take away space for those things, or?
So we've been coordinating closely with the landscape architect, and we actually have these rain gardens closer to the building, so there's an actual large strip of sidewalk from the street to the rain garden themselves, so it won't hinder foot traffic, as you're saying. So there should be adequate path of travel, so it won't actually get in the way.
So does this whole plan, I'm presuming, includes other landscaping as well?
Oh,
in-
yes,
In that area?
there's many other landscaping features that are still under development, but will be presented.
Sounds like a lot of improvements, Bill.
Based on your timeline, when you proposing or likely to come forward with either an RDA or a notice of intent?
An exact schedule?
Our design development phase finishes up in February, and then we'd be working into construction documents. So it would be sometime in
Yeah, so
CDs, I
it'd
would
be
imagine.
basically right after design development. So I would say beginning of March.
So-
in that general area.
We're likely to see you folks with an RDA or notice of intent,
Yes.
probably in the March, April timeframe.
I would say that would be
Okay.
in the ballpark area.
Yep.
So forthcoming.
No, I totally get it. I was just trying to get a sense.
Was there any investigation of the condition of the canal walls during this process of you planning? I know that the canal's owned by, I believe, someone else, I'm not sure. But I wondered if there was any work that perhaps needed to be done there.
Sure, that's a great question. And my name's Mark Gabriel. I'm also with Niche Engineering, with John here tonight, too. I'm not aware of any condition assessment of the wall at this time. Again, it's just an option we're looking at, we're pursuing. Could we discharge in this area? What would that mean with an L in the city as well? What type of agreements would that be? What would the construction of that look like, and what type of assessment would need to be done? So that would be coming down the road if we pursue that option. And as John mentioned, we're not sure at this time if we're going to go that way or we're going to pipe around the building to Kirk Street. So,
I
you,
think
though.
that's one of the better preserved canals, actually. When you look at it, you don't say, oh dear, something's going to fall very soon.
it is very beautiful there, yes. Yeah. In just regards to the time frame, we'll get back with more of a specific date on that. It's just very preliminary at this time.
Just sense.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
So that's basically the parts that affect us as a commission. I'd be interested to see the plans, because I missed all of your planning sessions. So I know that's not what we're here for tonight, but I think this isn't going to be any more impactful probably than what's there now. And we'd be worried about, during construction, how are things going to be preserved and taken care of as far as the canal and the vicinity of the canal area.
And we'll have proper erosion control. We have plans that outline that, so that'll be taken
Yeah.
care of.
Well, anyone else? Well, I'll be interested in your notice of intent or your RDA when it comes through, and thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Great, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Running out of agenda. Okay, next on our agenda, we have our annual election of officers. Our administrators noticed that it was that time of year. I questioned Christine in the office whether we should wait for a full complement of commissioners here, and she didn't seem to think it would matter one way or the other. But if anyone thinks that's necessary, oh my.
Computer thinks differently.
I did hear by the grapevine that Caitlin is interested in continuing as vice chair, and I would be interested in continuing as chair if we want to do the thing tonight or we want to put it off. What's the,
Unless anyone opposes to those, I'm in agreement.
Yeah, if you want to make a motion, I'll second it.
okay, motion for the,
I'll make a motion to pass Kate as vice and Louisa as chair.
And I'll second it.
motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a set of minutes from December 11th, and we were just discussing amongst ourselves here that we haven't had a chance to review them. Who took those minutes? Was that you, Jared? 11 pages, I hear?
No,
That was
Francesca.
Fran? Oh, Fran.
nice job.
Yeah, I'd like to also acknowledge Fran Sigliano, who's taking over the minutes of the meeting for tonight, and has been with us a while, but this is her first meeting on her own here, so welcome, and we still have yet to read your minutes, so I think we're going to have to put those forward to the next meeting as well. I'm assuming that Caitlin also said quite a bit in that particular meeting that I'd like her to check it over and make sure that everything's there. Is there anything else that needs to be brought up? So we can go for a motion to adjourn,
A motion to adjourn the meeting?
made by Perry, seconded by
I'll second it.
Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and good night.
Ooh, that was easy.
Ooh, that was a nice short meeting.